Welcome back to our live training session here with our 2011 Evo X MR. In our last video, we looked at the calibration process, integrating our normal base file and converting it into a TEFR v3 ROM. We verified that on the dyno. We also explored a little bit of our MyVec variable cam timing just to see cause and effect, making sure that that was dialed in as well. This video, we're going to be doing some off dyno drivability and testing, verifying that the tune is actually working in real world conditions, taking a look at our fuel trims, taking a look at the boost control, knock control, and shifting on our SST transmission so that we know everything is dialed in and it's going to be safe. So we'll be looking at several revisions and data logs here and examples to verify again the work that we've done on the chassis dyno. Without further wait, let's jump into this video so we can check this out. Welcome back to our live training session here with our Evo X MR. In our last video, we explored working with our TEFR v3 ROMs. We've learned how to import all of the core data and tables into our TEFR v3 ROM, do a validation and a checksum to make sure that fuel and ignition timing and boost and everything was functioning properly, the transmission was shifting properly, and that we could trust working with that file. Now, this video, we're going to be taking a look at some driving cycles and some driving time off the chassis dyno. So it's going to be a data analysis review. Now, going on the dyno and doing all of your tuning is great, but if it doesn't perform on the road or on racing conditions, we're gonna have some serious problems. So this is going to be a checksum and a validation of the work that we've done on the dyno in that calibration process. So we need to take a look at things like our fuel trims, making sure that we don't have excessive knock count, making sure the transmission is gonna be shifting right, we're gonna have proper clutch slip, making sure that the load registration is gonna be proper, and that we're tracking to the target boost that we're after. So we have a mix of things to take a look at. Now we jump into our software here. I have two different files that we're going to be looking at here. Our first files are TEFR v3 road test 1. This is the exact same information and file that we worked with in the last video. So we ended the last video and the file here had a different name. I've saved the file as a new name just so I could go back to this file and know that this is where I started to do the road testing and validation, again, the work I've done on the dyno. So this is going to be the file that we're going to be starting off with here. So that's what's flashed to the actual vehicle. Now I've captured some data logs here. I've driven the car around for a couple hours and captured some driving data log, also capturing and focusing in on a first through fourth gear wide open throttle pull to validate and make sure again that we're tracking the boost, air fuel, ignition timing, everything's going to be working just as we found on the dyno. So let's go and check that results out right now. I'm going to go in here from my ECU Flash software. I've captured the data in Evo Scan. We're going to jump in here to our Megalog Viewer HD software to review this. Now in my Megalog Viewer software, if I go to File and I go to Open here, I've labeled my data logs here very clearly so I know exactly what was going on in each data log, which is really important. You keep your file management proper when you're working with your data logs. If the data logs are going to be something that you can go back on and reference, you want to keep track of them, you want to save them so you know exactly what they mean and what they represent. So you can see here, I have my two data logs, so I have a couple data logs here, there's actually four. I have post dyno TEFR v3 log PT standing for part throttle day 1. So I've actually broken apart the driving cycles here in two separate days, and I have two separate files that I flashed to the ECU, so we're going to be looking at both of these. So we have our day 1 part throttle and day 1 wide open throttle. And then I let the car sit overnight, started it up, started driving around again, captured another driving cycle, which is going to be representative here of our day 2 part throttle, and then here our post-start wide open throttle day 2. So I've broken apart the logs for part throttle and wide open throttle so I can take a good analysis of what's going on. So let's jump in here. I'm going to open up and talk about our part throttle here first. Let's click open, and that's what we're finding here loaded right now. Now the information that we see here in our first lane of data is going to be... Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.